Salute, 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 salute. Salute to everybody, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Salute to everybody that's going to pull up in the building. You are now rocking with Big Dice. I'm going to say happy Memorial Day to everybody today. Memorial Day shouldn't be a bad day. I think Memorial Day should be a day that we rejoiced about our loved ones that unfortunately, I ain't even going to say unfortunately, they fortunately went home. I feel as though they went somewhere better than we at. I don't think they got to deal with the bullshit we dealing with every day in life, in society and everything like that. And I'm going to send a special rest in peace to the Boston Celtics. I thought they was going to make history tonight. But the Boston Celtics didn't make any history. What they did, matter of fact, they didn't make no history. No, they didn't make no history. The Boston Celtics got killed tonight, y'all. Rest in peace. A moment of silence for the Boston Celtics. Yeah, them niggas lost bad tonight. I told people, man, I seem like the whole NBA, the whole NFL, the whole MLB, NHL, everything pertaining to sports, it seems like it's being rigged these days. It ain't like back in the days when we had good old fashioned athletes that was sitting up playing ball from the heart. Everybody's thinking about the money or the fame. It ain't like back in the days. I'm gonna give him to pull up because I think I got a good one tonight for us. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to my man Yak, Chicago's finest. Shout out to my man Jai Ace TV. Shout out to Blue Dollars Network. Shout out to my man behind the bar. Shout out to all the podcasts. You know what I'm saying? All the podcast promoters. Anything with the negativity, I don't want to talk about. But anything with the positivity, I'm going to give my flowers to them, give them their flowers because there's too much going on in the world. Shit, it's war all over the place. Ukraine, Russia, the United States, and to be coming up on YouTube with the bullshit, I'm not with it. I hope we get some women in the building tonight. The truth lady should usually pull up because I think we got a great conversation for men and women, especially nowadays pertaining to these children. And how sexually active they are. I did a show earlier when I first started a few months back, about teen pregnancy. What I should have did is this show first and did the show on teen pregnancy because this is a serious question that I think we should talk about. I really think we should talk about. The simple question is, when is the right time? When is the right time for us as parents to talk to our children pertaining to the birds and the bees? You know, the nice way for saying sex. The reason why I decided to do this topic is because of certain situations that I see actually in my family. See, what I do is I look at certain things that's going on in life in my family, maybe not outside of my family. I pay attention to certain things in the news that might be captivating to the ear, something to really, really talk about in a good discussion. But this right here, I feel as though it's a great discussion, especially nowadays, because remember when we was younger, we didn't have the accessibility to certain things like our children do now. And I think we need to talk about that. I really think we need to talk about that. I remember back in the days, there was barely nudity on television, much less sex or provocative scenes, unless these shows was on either Friday or in particularly Saturday night, and it would usually be after midnight. It wouldn't be something that's on during the day, like with web series and what is it called now? The reality TV shows. Pure profanity, pure sex, pure vulgarity, pure foolishness, in my opinion. Men acting like children, women acting like children, pure war. It seemed like everything I notice now that has something to do with entertainment or television is turning into buffoonery. We already know what goes on YouTube, but then again, we can't even blame YouTube because think about television. Think about Love and Hip Hop. The reality TV shows are what's taking over right now. Back in the days, there was scripted. Excuse me. There was scripted TV shows such as soap operas. You know, like Channel 2, you know, NBC, CBS, Channel 7. But now it seems like they're gravitating more to reality TV shows because of the awe. You know what I'm saying? Because of the shock value, things of that nature. Things of that nature. Shout out to my man Do Dirty, David Baguette, in the entertainment business. And I remember one time they had actually gave him an opportunity to be on Love and Hip Hop, but he turned it down. He's actually been all over TV. He writes for some of the best artists right now. He's been ghostwriting now for about maybe 20 years. And him and his lovely wife, they was married actually on Nickelodeon on a television show. But I was thinking about this the other day because I have so many young cousins, unfortunately, that are mothers or fathers or about to be parents under the age of 21 years old. Under the age of 21 years old. I remember now, it was times when I was coming up and there were young ladies in my neighborhood that had children at young ages. What I mean by young ages is 14, 15, and 16. I had a couple of friends on my block. By the time we were 20 years old, they had children running around 3, 4, 5 years old. Why? I don't know. Is it the parents' fault? Seriously, is it the parents' fault if a child, and what I mean by child is under the age of 18 years old, as far as the age of partying, and as far as being a responsible adult to the fact where they can consume alcohol is 21. But anytime we're talking about children, I'm going to say my description or definition in this particular topic of children is from 16 and under. The reason why I say 16 and under is because some females have their menstruation earlier in life than others. Some females mature faster in life than other females. Some people can have, I've known situations in my family where people as young as 10 years old have had administration. So once you have administration or a period, everybody knows what comes after that. If you are bleeding, you are now fertile and subject to the fact of being pregnant. But we shouldn't have to worry about our children, especially under the age of 16, even thinking about having sex. But yes, we do. Yes, we do. 4 in the building. Whoever you is, hit that like button. Let me know you in the building. There ain't nothing but love over here. See, back in the days when I was coming up, y'all know I'm 50 years old. So when I was coming up, certain things like sex and everything like that was a taboo, especially pertaining to conversations between children and adults. Yeah, there was sometimes when we was out in the street and we was around some adults that displayed behavior and characteristics of children, but they were adults. And they said things loosely in certain terminologies pertaining to sex that maybe would have been, a little crazy for the average ear. But this is what planted the seeds in some of our heads for curiosity pertaining to sex. Just my opinion. When I was younger, I was thinking about games and stuff like that. Beaver Valley, what up, brother? How you doing, man? How was your Memorial Day, man? I'm chilling. Another day alive, another day free. Matter of fact, rest in peace to everybody that got a loved one that's lost. Matter of fact, rest in peace to the Dread El Campo also for Memorial Day. But Beaver, I'm just sitting here talking today about when would be a good time. I remember you said you had a child, you had a daughter. I don't know how old your daughter is, but what I'm thinking about is when would be a good time for us as parents to talk to our children about the birds and the bees. Simplified terms about sex, sexually transmitted disease, pregnancies, rape. You know what I'm saying? All type of sexualities. Because remember when we was coming up back in the days, we didn't really hear too much conversation about homosexuality or lesbianism. We didn't even have the terminology LGBT back in the day. Shout out to everybody for who they are. As long as you got a good heart, I don't care about anything else. But what I'm thinking about is now, today we do. Today we do. I seen something that I noticed with the world. And I noticed this since the horrible epidemic called COVID-19. When COVID-19 came, they made it seem like it was something that was going to just destroy the whole world. It affected the world, but it did not destroy the whole world. But if I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, tell me. It seemed like the COVID-19 pandemic seemed like was situated and perpetuated on one group of individuals at a time. First, they gave it about the whole masses. Then they gave it about the people our ages from 18 to 50. Then they hit the wave about the senior citizens from 55 to 85. And then after all of that, when we went to the highs and the lows and the most dangerous points of COVID to the less peaks of COVID, what did they do? They came out with another strain and they said, this particular strain, remember this, y'all? This particular strain, they said it seemed like the COVID-19 virus was specifically targeting children. Look it up if you think I'm joking. Specifically targeting children. When do we talk to our children about disease? When do we talk to our children about pandemics? When do we talk to our children about the birds and the bees? When do we talk to our children about self-defense? That was another reason why I thought about this, because down here in the South, from when these young guys are walking and can put their own clothes on at 4 and 5 years old, they have their fathers and their uncles in the woods training them on how to shoot rifles and handguns. Walaikum salam, sister. How you doing? Truth lady, let me ask you a question. When do you think in this day and time, when we were younger, you know, certain things was taboo and certain things was kept to themselves. But what age group do you think is appropriate that us as adults should start talking to our children pertaining to sex, the birds and the bees, male and female? Or do you think that the male population of children should be informed first? Or do you think the female population should be informed first? Or do you think, such as I think, when I think male or female should be informed at a certain time, especially with the information that's being transmitted today throughout all these cell phones, all these computers, and throughout these televisions? And how was your Memorial Day today? When do y'all think is an appropriate time? Like Beaver, when do you think is an appropriate time to talk to your child about the birds and the bees? See, I have a son. I don't have a little girl. So me personally, I would be, if I had a little girl. If I had a little girl, I'd be kind of skeptical about even bringing up any information pertaining to sex, especially pertaining to in-depth description about sex. I would be kind of, because, you know, they say once we expose somebody or expose our children to something, the curiosity bug bites them a little harder. Just like when I was younger and my mother and my father decided to talk to me about the birds and the bees. If y'all would have saw my mother's face, Truth Lady says, if they follow the guidance of Allah, they won't necessarily be curious about sex until the marriage age. That's a fact. That's a fact. But we have to be mindful of the fact, Truth Lady, that unfortunately, there's a higher volume, at least in the United States, that practice modern day and are under the beliefs of Christianity. Because the things that I'm seeing going on today now with our children, our young men and our young women, the way, first of all, when it comes to little boys, That's a fact. She said these kids today are running wild without any guidance whatsoever. When it comes to little boys, matter of fact, let me say this correctly. When it comes to the attire of our children, meaning their clothes, I think it is an obligation of the parents, instead of trying to keep our children up with time and fashion, it is an obligation of the parents to instill the priorities pertaining to how they dress while they're younger. I noticed there's some mothers that let their daughters wear sundresses and short dresses and shirts with their cleavage of their breasts posing out. I think that's totally disrespectful. I think young women should be allowed to be young women. I noticed there are some older men that are dressing their sons, unfortunately, to be gangsters. There's nothing wrong with giving your son a good pair of Timberlands. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm noticing more and more now, the education and the connection with God is so disconnected between men, especially black men nowadays. They're totally putting their lifestyle on their young sons. I never allowed my son to wear a do-rag when he was a child. Never. Never allowed my son to wear a do-rag. Yes, my son wanted waves, but I told my son, what's cheaper than a do-rag is a pair of your mother's stockings. To this day, my son rocks a stocking cap. Yak, salute, gangster. I was looking for you this morning, but you wasn't there. Yo, Yak, let me ask you a question, Big Yak. When do you think is the appropriate age nowadays? I'm not talking about back in the days when we was younger. You know that sex and everything was taboo, y'all. We came from some parents that was freaks, but they kept that shit to themselves. But nowadays, because of society and because of things that are transmitted throughout television, broadcasted throughout the internet, broadcasted throughout the radio station, broadcasted throughout their cell phones, it's so easy to pull up a cell phone and pull up porn. Yak, what do you think is the appropriate age to talk to your child or your children about the birds and the bees? Beaver said, but nowadays kids are not following the guidance of U-Haul. They don't have guidance and are doing whatever. Not to mention the chemicals that they are putting in the foods is messing with their balance all up. You know what? You said a great point right there, Beaver. You said a great point right there. That's why a lot of my true Muslim friends, they don't eat anything but halal meat. Nothing but halal meat. I remember one of my friends named Sincere told me a situation years ago. I thought he was joking. He was like, yo, Dice, you need to start going to buy your beef in bulk and get you a meat grinding machine and cut up your own meat. And I was like, I'm not getting no fucking meat in bulk and cutting that shit up and doing it into no grinding machine. He said, yeah, that's what they want you to do. They want you to be lazy and to trust them with their food and just come to the store and pick it up. He said, Dice, do you know they're using a Clorox and bleach chemical to stretch fat for chicken and hamburger meat? Blew my mind. My man Yak said, you might not have to be super explicit, but I would say 12 or 13 now is an appropriate age to start talking to the kids. I agree. You know why I agree with that age right there, Yak? I'm not just going to say I agree with it and don't tell you why I agree with it. But before I tell you why I agree with it, let's get into this work. Another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me? knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Man, woman, and children. Sun, moon, and stars. Everything that exists has to coexist within. Like I said, another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me? Salute once again, y'all. Yak, the reason why I agree with that age you said, 12 or 13, is just my opinion. At 12 or 13, this is the time. Ron Buggs, I see you in the building. The reason why I feel as though 12 or 13 is the great age to start is at 13, they give you working papers. At 13 years old, you can work for the whole summer. At 13 years old, you can work after school, but you can't work no later than 6 or 7 o'clock p.m. These are facts. And at 12 and 13, the curiosity goes from video games to humping to trying to smoking cigarettes and watching porno and thinking we grown and starting to understand the silhouette of young girls as they starting to shape when we're young with our curiosity, because they going from skinny to maybe voluptuous or thick or maybe bumps or, you know. So at 12 or 13, if they give us the responsibility to start going to work, I think that's so much time now for our children to be in the street. So much time for our children to be in the street. Now their adventure begins. Now their adventure begins. The curiosity, what they want to do, what they want to be, who they're trying to be, it all starts then. Big Cat, I see you in the building. Salute. That's a fact. That's a fact, Yak. That was a great age because number one, at 12 and 13, think about it. At 12 and 13, see me, I was outside since 10 years old. So at 10 years old, I already had a certain hunger in my heart because of who I came from and because of the neighborhood that I was in. So unfortunately, I'm not going to say fortunately, I say this sternly. Unfortunately, at 13, I had lived and done so many things. At 13, I've done things I know to this day, I can say this, that some men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s have never done. I have done more from 10 to 13 than people that have lived their whole lives. As far as risk and foolish adventures that I tried to conjure up with me and my friends. You know I be trying over here, Beaver. And I appreciate you came over here because I unblocked everybody. I appreciate you came back. We're not doing no blocking over here. If you do something crazy in the chat, we're going to put you in timeout. If you say something disrespectful or sexual or vulgar, yes, you will be blocked. But nah, I'm not doing none of that shit over here. It ain't nothing but love. Word up. Truth Lady said, that's why in Islam, boys and girls are kept separate as much as possible. Word up. Ron said, that's facts. A great age to let them know. Now, it's crazy there's no guidance. And the reason why I say that is I agree and disagree. There's still guidance, Ron Buggs. But we have to really understand that it's such a low volume of parents with morals, discipline, and integrity that's actually still instilling these things into their children. We are overlooked. We are overlooked. Right now in every school from kindergarten, from high school to college, there are somebody's children, one of our children, that stands out in the classroom just for academics. just for academics. Just like in these classrooms, some of our children are class clowns. Some of our children can't comprehend the way they want to. And instead of reaching out and saying what they need help with, they so, what's the word? Frightened with the response that's going to come back. They just gradually bump through school. Me personally, at 12 and 13, we was going to hooky parties, y'all. We wasn't going to hooky parties in the beginning of the year, but you remember, y'all, at the end of the year in junior high school, once we took that regional test, that comprehension test, them last days of school, once we got that, remember back in the days, once they said we was getting promoted, we didn't have to come to school no more. Oh, I was the only one that got told before the year was over what grade I'm going to. Y'all don't remember that back in the days we used to get them little white papers that was printed up telling us what school we was going to and what class we was going to. Y'all don't remember that? Let me find out I'm the only one that went to public school in junior high school here. Let me find out I'm the only one. Y'all must have just been born the age y'all is now. But when we was going to them hooky parties, y'all, pay attention to this. When we was going to them hooky parties, we were emulating our parents and the parties we saw them throw. We was emulating the activities we saw them do. Drinking alcohol, smoking marijuana, smoking cigarettes, playing cards, sneaking off into one of them rooms. You know, because you cool with the person that owned the apartment. Yo, son, you know, shorty up in there, man. You know, man, like, chill, man. We only got a couple of hours. Let me go in your mom's room. Man, if you go in my mom's room, you better change the sheets. If you go in my room, I better sleep with her too. I'm from that era, y'all. I don't know what nobody else was doing, but I was really doing some things. You know, all of us go in the room. We supposed to be couples. It might be 3 couples. It might be 3 real live couples. Everybody else is outside chilling and playing cards in the living room. It'd be me and my shorty. It'd be my man. Like back in the days, it was my man Stanley Sutherland, him and his shorty. And then it was my man Vito, him and his shorty. What we would do is we would leave some weed out there in the living room with them. We'd let them buy their own weed. We was drinking Old English and St. Ives and stuff like that. So what we do, we all take a St. Ives, and my shorty was drinking. The girls was drinking Ballantine Ale. This is how grown we is, y'all. 13, 14, 15. We drinking Old English, Ballantine Ale, Bacardi 151. And you ain't lying, truth lady, because my man Stanley, his brother name was Tony, but his middle name was Leroy. He had 2 Technique 1200s, and we used to always break his goddamn needles. That nigga used to try to kill us because them duck needles was $27 back in the days. You know what I'm talking about, Yak. They was called duck needles. My man Ron said, I got caught playing hide and seek. It's a fact. See, Ron, because we was outside. Because we was outside, y'all. And this is the part I'm trying to tell y'all. This is why it's so important. And we have to think about this now. Our children now can pick up phones and go right to Pornhub. See, when we had curiosity back in the days, we didn't know what the fuck to do. We was just curious. We had to watch our parents roll their joints. We had to watch our parents smoke their cigarettes. We had to watch our parents drink their alcohol. We used to sneak and sometimes catch our parents having sex because we were so curious. But now, them kids ain't got to sneak no more. If they want to learn how to fuck, excuse my language, all they got to do is pull out their phone and describe something that they want to see and put porn, and it's coming up. Yo, Big Cat, why are you using both of your damn But you know what? That's your phone, so you do what you want to do. Shout out to Big Cat and Bass Rule. That's the same person. But you know, I was a Boston fan. Rest in peace to Boston. I'm a Knicks and Nets fan, but I was going with Boston. Word up. We was all curious, Ron. You see what Yak said? Yeah, bro, it was different. Nowadays, these kids are grown. It's us now that are putting our kids into these outfits that are making them appear to be grown. It's us now that are taking our daughters to get the same hairstyle as their mothers. Appreciate you, Big Cat. Ain't no beef. Do your thing, man. I'm glad you're here. They're dressing just like we dress our sons like us, and we get their haircuts like us. The little girls, they want to get their hair done just like their mother. And what they want to do, if their mother is wearing certain clothes, they want to wear certain clothes. See, that's what I love about a Muslim woman. See, a Muslim woman dressed for God, dressed for Allah. The modern day women, respectfully, there are three types of women. There's the woman that dresses to keep up with her friends. There's the woman that dresses to attract men. And then there's a woman that dresses to fit in with society. When you come to a righteous woman, a Christian or a Muslim woman, they don't dress for that. They dress for God. They dress for the spirit and for who they presume and want to be perceived as. It's just a simple analogy, fellas. If you go to a party and you see a woman with a sheer suit on, with a thong and a breast out, the first thing that's going to come to our mind is lustful thoughts. First thing is going to come to our mind is lustful thoughts. Oh, what you want to do to her, what you see yourself doing to her. And you're going to think the things that's in her mind is what she's trying to do to someone just because of her attire. But then you can go to a club and then you can see a woman in a nice suit, a nice dress, a nice fitted dress to appreciate and compliment her silhouette. But there's no cleavage showing. You might see a silhouette, but you don't see no cleavage. You don't see no cow foot, like they say. Like the truth woman said, it's not too many people dressing with modesty anymore. She said, not too many women have a sense of modesty anymore. Modesty. A lot of women are dressing to impress or attract or to make a statement. See, the statement a Muslim woman makes, and she makes this statement much, much, much more adamant than a Christian woman. See, a Christian woman, you'll see her with the nice clothes on and tied up and, pearls on her neck and hands and gloves and don't want to show too much skin and stockings and way past the knees and yes. But a Muslim woman, the treasure that's under her clothes is only for her man, not for the world. The treasure that's under her veil is just for her man and family, not for the world. You notice some women sometimes when they put on clothes, they're going to be like, everybody going to like me in this girl. I'm going to kill him in this outfit. Everybody except God. Ron Books, you ain't even going to believe this when I tell you this, Ron. I'm about to stop smoking weed, y'all. That's a fact, yeah. I told my man Tube this the other day last week. He was like, you going crazy, Dice. Man, I'm about to stop smoking weed. You know why I'm about to stop smoking weed? Initially, when I used to smoke weed, I thought I needed weed to think, to focus more. Because back in the days, when I used to do my little test at school, I used to smoke crazy weed, y'all. And go to school and blow them tests out. I'll tell you a true story. When I came to North Carolina, I went to take my driver's license test. Only 20 questions. You can get up to 3 wrong. I went up there sober, read the book the whole night. Went up there sober, got 6 wrong. The next day, because in North Carolina, if you fail one day, you can go right back the next day. The next day, I got up super early in the morning, smoked me 2 spliffs, y'all. Went up there and I ain't missed one motherfucking question. My man Yak said, really, blow? Cold turkey? It's not cold turkey, Yak, because actually I'm weaning myself off now. People just don't know it. People just don't know it. I'm actually weaning myself off right now. I don't need it. Still get high and all that, keep the best bud, but I don't need it. I thought I needed weed to be focused. I thought I needed weed to be calm. I thought I needed weed to stop me from being impulsive. I thought I needed weed to just keep me a little more on a peaceful tip. I don't need it for that. All I need for that is within my heart. And I've been learning that. It's been taking me a while to learn it, but it's starting to really show me something. All I need is what's in my heart. For real, because at certain times, like when I used to be at work, I've worked certain jobs where I was supervisors. I was managers at group home. Never smoked no bud when I was at work. Anytime I worked for the plants down here at Smithfield, anything like that, I smoked me a half a spliff on the way to work, take my shirt off, put on some fleeing clothes, put on my Muslim oil, say my prayer, walk inside and work, come outside after work. I don't go outside at lunchtime. It's usually 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get back. I don't do that. I don't smoke cigarettes. I stopped smoking in 1991, went cold turkey. When I get off after work, what I do, go to my car, take my clothes off that I was working with all day, put my t-shirt on, my shirt or sweater on that was in my car that I smoked on the way to work, that same half a cliff that's in my ashtray. I put my car on cruise control and take my ass home. I actually stopped smoking weed for 2 years. This is the craziest part. I don't even know why I started smoking weed again. Just because of that plant called Smithfield. See, Smithfield, they give you a drug screening before you're hired. You have to take a urinalysis. You have to blow. You would never believe why they give you a blow test. You would never believe how many people come to work. Go to an application drunk. You would never believe it. I learned that in North Carolina. But once you pass the preliminary, there's no more drug screenings unless you're hurt. One day they give us a meeting and they said, you're going to give everybody 90 days to clear out. And after the 90 days, we're going to start doing random urinalysis. See, back in the days at first, the only time they would give you a urinalysis is if you got into a incident or accident at work. Now they said, we giving randoms out, y'all. I was making $19.25 an hour. I said, fuck that motherfucking marijuana. They can keep that shit. But where I fucked up was, Ron Buggs, I stopped smoking the marijuana, but then I started drinking that brown water. I started drinking that brown water. I started drinking that Chicago's finest, that motherfucking yak. I started fucking with that goddamn yak. I started drinking that Fred Sanford. These is facts. But I noticed when I started drinking, I started putting on crazy weight. This is incredibly crazy, y'all. I stopped smoking marijuana. I would think that I would start losing weight because when you smoke marijuana, you get munchies, but I've always been at work. See, I've always did vigorous work. where I'm moving or doing something for 6, 7, 8 hours or whatever like that. But now I'm not smoking marijuana no more. All I'm doing is taking me a sip every night when I get off. Not even before I go to work. Take me a little sip or two, a Hennessy before I go to sleep. Drink me a little Heineken or a Corona, ice cold, chase it with that. Take my ass to sleep. That gin and juice done got everybody messed up. Down here in the South, you know, they say that white make you want to fight. I never forget this. When I first moved to North Carolina, a young lady walked up on me at my aunt's juke joint and said, "Give me a shot of that gin, and that make me sin." I said, "What?" She said, "If you give me a shot of that gin, that will make me sin." She said, "You in the South now." Truth lady, don't they talk like that down here? She said, "You in the South now." And she squatted down to the floor, y'all. She was standing straight up, squatted down to the floor, and stood back up. She said, we do it strange down here for some change. Blew my mind with that. Blew my mind. And her name is Preeny. I'm like, "Yo, Preeny, what the fuck is you talking about?" She said, "Dice, prostitution is the Constitution in North Carolina." Blew my mind. Blew my mind. But these children today, see, I don't think y'all understand. In North Carolina, these children are driving at 14 and 15 years old. They can get a permit at 14 and 15. These kids are getting you know, at 16 and 17 years old, these kids are getting cars. They are driving to high school. To pick up the body, she bathed the child, braided her hair and everything. As soon as they removed the child, the house scariest thing I've ever. Hold on. She said, hold on, my fault. Yak said, "I stopped smoking for 3 years. My ex-girl's daughter, who has special needs, passed away in the middle of a big blizzard in Chicago. We had to sit there with the body until the coroners can make it." To pick up the body, she bathed the child, braided her hair and everything. As soon as they removed the child, the house was the scariest thing I ever seen. The lady started throwing up black tar. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's really, really crazy. To tell you the truth, I done seen some things. I done seen some crazy. I've seen some things spiritually in New York. Truth be told, I've seen some things spiritually in New York. But I've seen some shit in the South. I don't even know how to describe it. All I can say is, like, I've seen some phenomenons in the South that people wouldn't even believe. I seen some shit down here in North Carolina. Niggas be like, "Dice, you high." I ain't high. To everybody in here, pertaining to when we should talk to our children about the birds and the bees. For the parents in the building, say your child comes home at 14 years old and your child is pregnant. For the females, say your child comes home and he is 14 or 15 or 16 and says he is allegedly responsible for a child that's inside of a 14-year-old or 15-year-old girl. What do we do with our children then? Do we force them to abort the children? Do we force them to abort the children? Do we stand by them and support the children? Because, you know, if they're 14, that means they're going to have the baby at 15. So that's children that don't know nothing about life. So that means the responsibility of that child, which would be our grandchildren, is now going to be the responsibility of our child, just as we're still raising our children in the household. What do we do? New York, Nikki, salute. What do we do, y'all? Real scenario, one of our children at 14 is responsible for impregnating the child, or our daughter comes home and tells us, for those of us that have daughters, I only have a son, but for those of y'all that have daughters, come home and say they are expecting a baby. What do we do? What do we do? Do we do what the old timers did back in the days? I don't know if y'all remember this, but I'm going to tell you what they did in my family. If you got pregnant under the age of 16 and you lived in New York, they sent you to North Carolina. They sent you down here. If you got pregnant under the age of 16 in North Carolina, they sent you up north to New York until that baby was either 8 months or a year old, and then you would be sent back home. That's a fact. That's a fact, truth lady. That's a fact. Jai, salute. I just told him to go subscribe to you when I started, pimp. Yo, Jai, let me ask you something, Jai. I know you got a daughter. When is a good time, you think, Jai, to talk to your daughter about the birds and the bees? If you had a son, this is not just for a little girl. This is just for a boy. This is for our children. When do you think is a good time for us as parents to start having that responsible conversation with our children pertaining to the birds and the bees, because of the technology and the accessibility all of our children have now to these computers? Truth Lady said that's a fact. Truth Lady said the old time parents, they had shame, so they sent you to New York, or no, they sent you somewhere else than where you was at. But let's talk about that for a second. What shame was it? Who held the shame, and who was the shame laid upon? Should the shame be laid upon the young girl for being pregnant? Or should the shame be laid upon the parents for being negligent? Everybody in here, who gets the shame blame? Everybody in here, I want y'all to answer that. Do the parents get the shame blame, or should the child get the shame blame? I'm going to let y'all respond. I dropped the link if anybody want to pull up. Who gets the shame blame? Yak said, my mother was sent down south when she was pregnant with my oldest brother. That still affects her today. Then she was separated from her sister. Oh, Yak, that's in all of our families. She said, wow, I was just telling somebody about how baby showers started when there was no longer any shame about teenage pregnancy. And that's a fact. That's who I think deserves the blame. New York Nikki said, back then the parents got the blame. I think the parents deserve the blame for that at all times, past, present, and the future. Ron said the daughter being pregnant at 14, if they have that baby, that parent will really have something on their hands. That's a fact, Ron. Because a 14, 15-year-old child don't know how to raise no child. That 14, 15-year-old child does not know how to take care of herself. The truth lady said they should and be proud. Not ashamed. Shaking my head. That's a fact. Nikki said, even to this day. Ja said, you can do it at a young age, but it's about being creative because the internet is confusing these kids. Cartoons, etc. You can tell real little kids every detail, but you have to enlighten them also. That's a fact. I seen something in Walmart the other day. That's why I was thinking about our babies. I seen something in Walmart the other day. I don't know if y'all seen this, but if you think I'm joking, go to Walmart. You can go to Macy's and see the same thing. There's a line. There's a new clothing line out right now. The name of the clothing line is Pride. You got shirts, pants, sweatpants, jackets. Everything about the clothing line is the same consistency of the rainbow pattern pertaining to gay, lesbian, or LGBT. Respectfully. I went in Walmart. Listen to this, y'all. I went in Walmart and seen these children's clothes starting at size 4T. 4 toddler. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Tell me what 4-year-old has transportation to get to a store. Tell me what 4-year-old can go to a store and pick out their own clothes and go to a cash register and buy it. That's a fact, Ron. Go into Walmart. That shit is in Walmart and it's in Macy's.
What the fuck is...
Yo, what up, Yak?
What's up, bro?
They got a new Pride line now for babies up to adults. Right now in Walmart.
Wait a minute, a new who?
They have a new clothing line. The clothing line consists of a pattern pertaining to the rainbow, advocating homosexuality, lesbianism, and the LGBT community. They start now at 4T in Walmart and Macy's. It's called Pride.
Man, that's the world we live in. It's like and it's like now you have so many kids that's supposed to be, you know what I mean, raised when they're supposed to be born with different feelings of, you know what I mean, girls feeling like they should have been a boy, boys feeling, etc. You know, but it's like
Nikki said QVC is selling it too. She saw it last night, shaking her head. It's a fact. That shit started 4T, yeah.
They didn't promote it. They didn't promote it so much of different style of living. I think it's kind of subconsciously embedded into a lot of people. You know, my personal opinion. You know,
Donald Trump said if he comes back around and wins this presidency, this election, he just did a straight up speech on this. This is facts. Y'all can Google it if you think I'm joking. Donald Trump said the first law he is going to be passed is the LGBT to be abolished immediately. He said the gene of sexuality born as on your birth certificate, you will be deemed until the day you die.
Now I'm asking, do you believe a young lady could just mentally and spiritually believe that she's a man, she was born to be a male?
Yeah. I can believe that in her mind, but I think that comes from from trauma.
Okay.
Or exposure. Same thing with a young boy that thinks, for instance, like Dwayne Wade's son, that they're just trying to turn into a young woman. That is happening. That is happening. And that young man is experiencing this and crying out for help because of something horribly that either was done to him, done to someone he loved and it affected him, or something that was taught to him.
Yeah, I believe that one's has a lot to do with exposure and what they are. What's the girl name? Gabrielle Union is that what?
The
And she
dude, that's his
pushes
name. That's a dude name.
she pushes the she seemed like she was the one that pushed the acceptance of being different real heavy, and he just went along with it. You know what I mean? That's from what I see, and it's like, man, you
Yeah,
now
because she's the one that told him in support of their child. Now Gabrielle Union has assumed the role as the man, and Dwayne Wade has assumed the role as a woman
yeah, see,
in support to that little boy.
yeah, see, that's that good ass cocaine they sniffing in over there. That's what that is. Really.
That's experimentation and trauma that's been passed through all of them, and because of their money. See, these are behavior traits.
Yep.
These are all characteristic behavior traits. Everything that's shown from Gabrielle Union to Dwayne Wade to his son are characteristics of behavioral traits of trauma and something pertaining to sexual exposure or abuse.
Yeah, and they have enough money to block him from the real world for as long as they possibly can, you know.
And they have enough money to do whatever they want.
Yeah,
See, it's a lot of people that want to do whatever they want, but they can't.
exactly.
But they can't.
They got enough money they can create their own bubble and just live within that bubble and you know what I mean, very limited times have to deal with the outside world for real.
You preaching right now, brother.
Like dead serious, man. It's like we gotta go back to, man, at some point, as long as at what point do all right, I understand this might be what your mind is telling you might want to be or be saying you should become.
Smash that like button, y'all, too. My fault.
As long as you under my roof, if your name is Harry, I'm not about to call you Harriet. You know what I'm saying? If it's just, you know what I mean, if you get out on your own, you can do what you want to do. You know what I mean? But you still get it's cool to support your child, but if you promoting and pushing a lifestyle, I don't think that's correct. You know what I'm saying?
I really don't. And it seems like
Because, man, you know how it go, Dice. How many times we gonna change what we like by the time we hit 15? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Or what we thought we liked by 12 or 13. Then by 15, your taste buds can change. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, you gotta. I think you got as parents, we have to hold off those type of so-called attributes as long as we can deem in control of our child until they can directly make that decision on their own, where they can competently feel like they're making a decision that they want to make. You know, that's how I feel about it.
I feel as though it should be a simple law that should be enforced that a child does not have the right to even consider or talk or portray these characteristics until they're 21 years old. At 21 years old,
that's gonna be hard because you know what I mean. Once you start the dressing, because you know what I mean. A lot of the young ladies like dressing in the boy clothes, but then now you see the boys wearing. But that's the style now. You see most of these rappers, shit, they wearing female blouses and purses around their fucking waist. You know what I'm saying? So that's the so-called style, the end thing now.
See, in my opinion, they're pressing this agenda of bisexuality so aggressively.
Yeah.
And it seems like because of this is the honest to God truth, what I'm assuming. Well, this is my opinion. Because of the factor that now these children have so much money and so much influence throughout the world, whether it's good or bad, because of the figures that they are in the world, the experimentation that's in their mind and curiosity for things that they couldn't really even deal with when they were young because of what? Scrutiny, or lack of funds, now they're just jumping all out because they're dealing with all these drugs, opioids, cocaine, you know what I'm saying? Heroin. What's that shit called they drinking at? Lean, whatever the fuck that shit is.
That lean and all that. We got to take it. We got to go back to and really understand where we live at, and where the place we live at always wanted to be conquerors. Like, man, you got to think over there in Rome and all of that, man. Men on man and shit. That shit was normal. You know what I'm saying? In the United States, I always wanted to be conquerors, like over in Rome and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You would see a man lay up with a man in a tub, and then you know what I mean. You that shit was prevalent back then.
They've been doing that to us since Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Ernie and Bert fighting over that rubber ducky.
Yeah.
Facts. Two grown adults sharing an apartment together, never seen them with no woman, and they shared a bathtub together. And mysteriously, for some reason, they was always going underwater for certain lengths of time in search.
I never looked at that like that.
It's a fact.
I never even paid that no mind like that, bro. Damn, that's crazy.
Think about that.
Yeah, as you said it, I'm like, damn.
Number one, let me ask y'all something. Can anybody tell me the sexuality of Big Bird? That's some deep shit.
Wow.
That's some real deep shit. Can anybody in this chat tell me the sexuality of Big Bird? I got another one for you. The reason why I asked you, could you tell me the definition of Big Bird? Because Big Bird's best friend name was what? Mr. Snuffleupagus.
Yeah.
They didn't call him Mr. Big Bird. They didn't call him Mrs. Big Bird. There were times when Big Bird dressed as a man. There was time Big Bird dressed as a woman. Y'all ain't catch all that shit they was doing to us.
I never even thought of that, bro.
Go watch Sesame Street right now. They got episodes as Big Bird dressed as a woman, a woman crossing guard. This is a fact with the skirt suit on and everything.
Then
Then they got episodes dressed a Big Bird dressed with trousers on.
Wow, yeah, wow.
Now check about this though. Men and women both can wear pants or trousers.
Mm-hmm.
Men or women can both wear what? Skirts or kilts.
Kilts.
Kilts,
you're right.
And you heard what the truth lady said? Ron Boog said, Nikki said, Ron, you took the words right out of my mouth. He said, what about Felix and Oscar? Nah, them niggas wasn't gay. Them niggas couldn't keep nobody. They was, first of all, you got to understand this. If you watch the beginning of the Oscar couple or the Odd Couple, that nigga Felix, that nigga was too much of a meticulous man for his wife. And he got on her nerves and she kicked him out. And then Oscar Madison, he was a great sports promoter. So you know he was drinking and fucking everything he saw. And his wife said, you heard what he said, when he went to Felix's house, when Oscar went to Felix's house, Felix's wife said she told Oscar to leave and to never return. Them niggas wasn't into each other. Them niggas just happened to get a bunch of money and got a penthouse apartment together. But when it came to Ernie and Bert, them niggas had a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 beds, a table. I ain't never seen a kitchen, a bathroom, and they kept going underwater for a rubber ducky. I ain't never seen a rubber ducky. One episode of Sesame Street. I've never seen it. Anybody in here ever seen that rubber ducky? Who can say they saw a rubber ducky in any of them episodes? But they was always underwater. And you notice when they came up underwater, they would be smiling.
Damn, you just messed me up, Dice.
Come on, man. I'm Shaq McCloud's son, brother.
Whoa. I ain't never even think about that like that.
Think about it. They fought every time. Think about it. Look what the narrative was. 2 grumpy men that shared an apartment. And what they do, they argued all day. And before they went to sleep, they took a bath together. And then the argument turned into a fight because they kept going underwater searching for a rubber ducky that never appeared.
Never existed. That never existed.
That never appeared.
Wow. I never looked at that like that.
I can tell y'all a show right now where people went up underwater and somebody was getting their cock sucked. Excuse me. There was oral sex in both scenes when it was a man or a woman, and the movie was Coming to America.
Yeah.
Remember when they went under there and the lady came up? They said, "Your royal penis is clean."
Your penis has been clean, sir. Yeah.
They was underwater. If you see Coming to America 2, what happened right when the guy went to run into the bathroom and talk to his mother about the 3 women that was supposed to bathe him? She said, "Go ahead, baby, get on out of here." And the minute he walked out of the room, what happened? A man came from underwater. She said, "Baby, go up under there one more time. Just give me one more thoroughly clean." You did? You did?
Damn sure did.
Ron Boog said the same thing I said. Either they was feeling on each other or they was having oral sex with each other. Nikki talking about what, Ron? And you see what Ron said? So where the hell is the goddamn rubber ducky then, Nikki? Where the fuck was the rubber ducky?
Pretty much.
Them niggas was fighting in the living room. I mean, fighting in the bedroom. And then they would calm down and they would have what? 2 towels, walk to the tub, jump in the water, and turn into the best of the friends, and then get into a fight over a rubber ducky.
Yeah, you just put me. I had never looked at that like that.
Blame it on my mother, man.
Man, I had never looked at that like that, bro.
Because ain't nobody gonna never tell me nothing. First of all, it was only another show that I remember when it was 2 men that dressed up as women because they could not find an apartment. And they moved into a woman's housing apartment unit, and it was called Bosom Buddies.
Bosom Buddies, yep.
Remember that?
Yep. Oh, they've been pushing this shit on us since we was kids. Since the 70s.
Ron Boog said it was underwater with no rubber.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, Nikki, goddamn it, you better run. First of all, Nikki talking about y'all running my motherfucking child. Well, goddamn it, run them niggas out your mind because them niggas was in love with each other. Truthful Lady said homosexuality was all up in Sesame skits. Sesame Street skits. First of all, everybody in here, nobody told me yet, 12 people in the building, what sexuality was Big Bird?
I
Everybody
have no
fucked up
idea.
on that one.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Truth Lady, what sexuality was Big Bird? New York Nikki, what sexuality? Ron, what sexuality? Tell me, anyone. Millie Fresh, how? Tell me, my dude. Yo, Ja Ace, what sexuality was Big Bird?
I have no idea. Hold on. Baby. What sexuality was Big Bird? Wifey said boy.
Yo, y'all notice why I tell Nikki sometimes don't talk sometimes. I tell her to just think before she speaks. Now check what Nikki did. I'm going to put this on YouTube. Nikki, your children, everybody going to see this for the rest of their life. We're going to give this to you right now. Check what Nikki said. I said, what sexuality was Big Bird? Y'all see Nikki answer, y'all? He didn't have one, I guess. He didn't. So you're saying Big Bird was a man then?
The wifey say a female played Big Bird, but it was supposed to be a male.
Ain't that some deep shit? Ron Boog said the best of both worlds. I say he was a hermaphrodite. I say he was a hermaphrodite. See, a lot of people really forget about that. They are I might agree with you, Dice. Exist with both genders on their body.
Big Bird was a boy, and
She scared the shit out of me, Yak. Yo, Yak, I swear to God, I thought somebody had just took your avatar and was about to porn hard me or something like that. I thought it was a computer glitch. Because Yak, you got a real distinct voice. You know what I'm saying? You got a Shabba Ranks and Scarface voice. And I heard Big Bird was a man. Scared the fire out of me just now, yo. Matter of fact, y'all, hold it down, Yak, because she scared me so bad.
My neighbors. I got my neighbors and everybody. We out here.
Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom. That just messed up my kidneys. Give me 2 seconds. It messed my kidneys up with that. Scared the shit out of me, Yak.
Everybody debating what Big Bird is now. Man, how everybody doing today, man? I hope everybody had a full belly filled, holiday weekend. Big Bird was played by a man. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Say Google it.
2 people played Big Bird.
I agree, Miss
Carol Sweeney played Big Bird.
Carol Sweeney.
Carol Sweeney and Matt Vogue.
Say Carol Sweeney and Matt Vogue both played Big Bird.
Matt Vogue was a fill-in.
Matt Vogue was the fill-in. It was a character to me as a child. Gender didn't cross my mind. He was big as I thought. It has met. I agree with you, New York nigga. That's how I looked at it. I never looked at it as a he or she. You know what I mean? It was Big Bird. A child grew. Oh, truth lady, you might be correct. He was a pedophile. I never gave it a thought. Boy, I guess. Man, that's a deep question right there. Dice been throwing monkey wrenches in these little questions the last couple of days, ain't he? In fact, it definitely said Big was transgender. And I didn't hear nothing about transgenders as a kid. I didn't hear about that shit I got as an adult. This is they ruining cartoons, man.
How can we say he or she with no proof?
That's a fact.
You know, Miss Yak, I love her to death, but tell her she got to answer these questions since she done jumped in it. He was a boy.
She done gave a couple names, but I done forgot them already.
Nah, we don't have no evident proof. Matter of fact, Google it, Miss Lady, like she said.
Yeah, I'm neutral on this one.
Google, what was the sexuality of Big Bird, somebody?
Hey, this 2 days straight, you done threw little monkey wrenches in the questions, bro.
Oh, I got some real shit lined up. Y'all ain't heard nothing yet. Matter of fact, y'all, I need 73 for 100, y'all. I need 73 subscribers for 100, man.
Oh, man, you there.
I need 73 and we're going to get to this work. I got some shit up my sleeve like what? A nigga boosted. I got some shit up my sleeve like a nigga walking out the store with a 64 ounce. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you. Watch this, y'all. Alexa, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. Ask me anything. Invest in factual subjects like music, history, and geography.
Alexa, was Big Bird off of Sesame Street a boy or a girl?
From fandom.com. He was portrayed by Nice Peter. Big Bird first appeared on the premiere of Sesame Street in 1969 and has remained one of its main characters since.
Was Big Bird off Sesame Street a boy or a girl? Alexa.
Siri said transgender.
Alexa, was Big Bird off Sesame Street a male or a female?
From PuppetCentral.com. Except Big Bird, like Elmo and Cookie Monster and Grover and Bert and Ernie, is male.
They said male, like Elmo and Cookie Monster. Big Bird was a male. Mrs. Yak is right.
Ron say Siri said a transgender.
See what I mean? I know one thing, that's a damn alien. Oh, snap. Ron Bull said it was a transgender. Fact. See, y'all paying attention to this, though. Alexa and Siri is two different people.
Two different people.
Alexis, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to Siri.
Sorry, I don't know that.
You heard what she said? Sorry, I don't know that. see, Alexa, see, these computers got their own motherfucking war. Alexa ain't even fucking with Siri.
Yeah, this shit is deep.
Oh, y'all want to see something deep? Look at this. I'm gonna show y'all something deep. I'm gonna show you something deep if you want to see something deep. I'm gonna show you something abyss deep. This so deep, you're gonna think she Chinese. You dig what I'm saying? This is deep. I'm about to show you something deep, man. Y'all gonna be like, what the hell? What the hell?
We got computer banging nowadays.
I got something for y'all I want y'all to pay attention to. Y'all think I be joking.
One click.
First, there is DigiDog, sniffing out danger. Then there's the GPS Dart, tracking cars driven by people up to no good. And you might run into this roundish robot, keeping an eye on places like Times Square.
We want the public to know that the use of these technologies will be transparent, consistent, and always done in collaboration with the people that we serve.
The NYPD showcasing 3 new tools that will be rolled out in the coming months. Pilot programs, the department says, linking cops with new technology, especially extreme situations.
In hostage negotiations, counterterrorism incidents, and other situations as needed.
DigiDog was originally launched during the de Blasio administration, but the program was suspended. Civil rights activists said it was an example of over-aggressive policing. Today, Mayor Adams barked back at those complaints.
DigiDog is out of the pound. DigiDog is now part of the toolkit that we are using.
Similar robots have been used in places like airports and college campuses, cameras and two-way communications, connecting police with people who need help. The GPS Dart, already in use, launched in some cases at so-called ghost cars, illegal rides using phony paper license plates.
And by doing this, it allows our officers to stay safe, limit pursuits, and let the GPS do its job.
So who pays for all this stuff? Well, police say $750,000 for 2 dogs comes from forfeiture money, additional funds from the capital budget. The mayor took a bite at reporters asking specific money questions.
This is an investment in our public safety.
The new recruits start popping up this summer. In Times Square, Gus Rosendale.
You see what they're doing right now, y'all?
Now, how many jobs are those 2 dogs going to replace?
Matter of fact, let me put this up for Nikki before she go crazy, man. Word up. I don't have to do that for the news, Nikki. We don't have to do the fair disclaimer for the news, Nikki. But since you were so creative to help me with that, I'm going to do it for you. Nah, we don't have to do that for the news, though, Nikki. See, let me explain something, y'all. Because of the situation I went through the first time when we was doing that ladies' night, see now, shout out to my man, Tube Chronicles. Anytime I do a show, the minute I finish the show, I go and check for any restrictions. See, I didn't have the capability of doing that on my cell phone and all that. So now that I be on my computer, the minute I get through doing a show, if anything says restrictions, it's gonna say restriction, and then it's gonna give me a prompt where I can go up there and press the button. When I press the button, it's gonna automatically tell me what part is restricted.
Yeah.
On the show. I got 48 hours to either delete the audio or delete the audio and visual. YouTube will take all that. When I tell them to delete the certain part, all they do is say what part it is, and then you have to say, yes, I accept. The part, they already have it sectioned and portioned off. Once you hit it, bang, give it about 2 hours, it's done. Word up. I had to learn all that because that's what they did, yeah. But I'm glad they did that. Look how God worked. When my channel got banged for a week, it was all over YouTube. Oh shit, Big Dice lost his channel. No, I didn't lose my channel. I was playing music in February. Matter of fact, it was February the 23rd. We was playing music. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know. I know Nikki and them was in here because we was playing music and the shit just went blank. Boop. But they let me go back live. They sent me an email stipulating that because it was a warning and it was my first time, no actions would be taken.
Yeah.
When I played music, I played it for more than, what was it, 62 minutes in totality? No, excuse me, 16 minutes in totality. That's what got me the copyright strike. So what they did was they struck my page and told me that I couldn't go live for 7 days.
Wow.
So for the 7 days, I just couldn't go live. That's all. I didn't lose my page, nothing like that. They was doing, oh, he lost his page. Rah, rah, rah. No.
The whole narrative.
No, I didn't lose no fucking page, nothing like that. What they told me was, this is the funniest part. What they said is, you can't go live for 7 days. You can't get any type of monetary value until May the 23rd. I just passed that. Is it May 23rd? Yeah, I just passed that.
Yeah.
So now everything I get now, if I get my 1,000 subscribers, I will get next month. You know what I'm saying? So I'm past the period and everything with that. That's all that was, but I didn't lose no channel.
You know, everybody gonna come with a whole theme. You know how that goes.
The bug part is they didn't see one thing I noticed. They talk about all the negativity. I said something from my heart because it bothers me to this second right there. I don't get up every day talking about the shit that's bothering me about comp because he knows shit is bothering me. And rest in peace to my man on Memorial Day. The part that bothers me is I told people I was not going live until my man got 1,000 subs.
That was 12, yep.
I don't give a fuck how nobody felt about that shit. That's just something I said. And only time I was going on YouTube, I was putting up posts telling people about the information that was given to me pertaining to his funeral arrangements. And then when I got the last bit of arrangements, I took down the first 2 posts because there was no need to go through me or Wax anymore because Wax had spoke to his daughter. And that's when I put up the Revel at yahoo.com because they was actually going to start a GoFundMe. But they were saying that if they start a GoFundMe takes a percentage of the money.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want to do that to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to do anything like that. So what it is, they sent the money directly to the daughter. But thank God they took care of everything. My man was laid to rest. You know what I'm saying? Word up. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't know about what's going on with anything else on YouTube. I've been staying away from all the negativity. You know what I'm saying? I'm praying for everybody that just has anything negative in their heart towards anybody. I don't know. This the only thing I just want people to do, from my opinion. It's just my opinion, y'all. You dig what I'm saying? Because something Comp told me I'm going to keep in my heart. I'm going to keep that in my heart besides YouTube. This is something I'm going to put into my everyday besides YouTube. What somebody does with their life or their platform or their situation, if it's not detriment to me and none of my loved ones, all I can do is pray for them. That's all I can do. You dig what I'm saying? But I hope everybody with any of the foolishness that's going on YouTube, I'm direly begging people, leave it alone. I don't want to hear about nobody getting hurt. I don't want to hear about nobody going to jail. I don't want to hear about no more deaths. I don't want to hear about nobody getting into the police. I don't want to hear about nobody in court with no gun. I don't want to hear about nobody going through nothing. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh shit! None of that.
James P, I see you in the building. We got the Nile River in the building. That's a fact. He said El Compa with us. That's a fact. Always with us. Compa is right here with us, man. Memorial Day take 2. Compa with us. You dig what I'm saying? And that's a fact. But one thing he asked us to do, and I'm asking people to do, because it's been bothering me. That's why I just been sitting back paying attention to YouTube. Big Dice love everybody, whether you love me or not. My love for my enemy is much, much stronger than their hate for me. But I just really want everybody to chill. Like, for real, Yak, this shit is, like, I thought this shit was like, it's the bug part is from the way we grew up, Yak, we know shit is dead real. You dig what I'm saying?
Dead real.
But I didn't ever expect nobody on YouTube to get hurt, man. Nobody.
Yeah. You wouldn't coming in it, you wouldn't have expected it, but then you saw gradually getting more and more, you know what I mean, disrespectful, more and more threatening, more and more everything. You saw the growth, and they promoted that even more. You know what I mean? That's what they put in the algorithms now.
That's a fact. Like they want people to be hateful towards each other, and it's just not fucking right. Excuse me, y'all. My son just texted me.
They pit everybody against each other. It's everything's a competition anyway. But it's like they try to, just how you got the Guardians over here, the Nile River, they don't even want anybody making a community within a community. They want everybody pitted against each other.
Yeah, and it's not right because I was talking about this the other day, and what bugged me about the whole situation. What bugged me out about the whole situation, and I was trying to tell people, it could be an event outside of the world. Like you could be at Myrtle Beach Bike Week. You could be at Atlantic Beach Freaknik. You could be at Virginia Beach Freaknik. You could be at Coney Island. You could be anywhere throughout the world because you would never know who's watching YouTube. I just found out the other day, shout out to my homie Taj, that one of our friends that was extradited from New York that lives in the Bahamas is watching me and other people on YouTube. So when I started thinking about things like that, like that's why I say with us over here with Team Guardian, we ain't no gang, we ain't no none of that shit. We just walking with God. You dig what I'm saying? It's like I would never want somebody that's over here supporting me or fucking with me to go out one day to a show or to a party, and then I do a live where they hit me on the DM and be like, yo, Dice, I was at a party and somebody jumped on me because they said they don't like Team Guardian. Nah, that shit right there is too much for me, man.
Exactly. Go on vacation anywhere, and somebody recognize one of the faces from somebody's particular show, and you know what I mean, you get violated on vacation with your family. So I'm like, shit is serious.
You wouldn't believe the people that walk up on me and be like, oh shit, I seen you on YouTube, and I'm looking behind me like,
yeah,
who you seen on YouTube? They be like, you.
Now you have to get used to it, because I don't like my space. Don't freely walk up on me like that. You know what I mean?
Y'all wouldn't believe I had people that don't know me that watch the show, and people that grew to know me through friends and cousins that subscribed to the channel that saw me at my aunt house and pulled up and walked up on me and was like, yo, Dice, I don't like seeing you certain ways, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally people that I don't know, but I know of them because of my family and stuff, and they show support and they be in here and they was like, yo, Dice, chill, don't fuck with shit like that. That shit ain't, don't like seeing you like that, bro.
Yeah, my man, that little stretch, my wife listens to you at night. She wouldn't even listen to you during that stretch. Dice, she was at me. She like, I don't like Dice like that. Yeah, she like, I don't like him like that.
It ain't me. Now I'm getting back on my journalism side, my journalistic side. The problems that I think is that we need to talk about as people. This don't have nothing to do with no color. This has something to do with humanity. The shit that I've been talking about. This ain't got nothing to do with black, white, Puerto Rican, Dominican, nothing. This has something to do with everyone, humanity, the human race. Yeah. We all have children. We all have loved ones we care about.
That's real, man. It's serious out here now. A lot of people just walking around, man, blind by just the fascination of the things they think they got. So they think they're satisfied of being at next level, man, and they losing, man. Like, really lost. Gotta open your eyes.
I wanted to say this too, because respectfully, I ain't never hear nobody say my name. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never hear nobody say my name as far as that situation pertaining to El Compa. But I said I wanted to speak up on this because it's not bothering me. I just think people need to take a different outlook and think about certain things. There's certain people that they said, yo, why didn't they go to El Compa's funeral? And why didn't this one go? And why didn't that one go? Number one, I am glad my man China did not go to El Compa's funeral. I don't care if nobody disagrees with what I'm saying. I am glad that my friend China Brim did not go to El Compa's funeral. See, I didn't go to El Compa's funeral. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Nobody really asked me or said nothing about it, but I will tell the reason. Number one, this is what I was taught a long time ago. Like those that try to chase life is going to die. And those that keep trying to chase death is going to live. A lot of people won't understand what that means. So I'm going to break it down. It's like when you chasing death, it seems like there's a protection on you where people will always say, yo, he should have been dead.
Yeah.
Or how the fuck he ain't kill him? Or how the fuck he keep getting away from shit? Because that's not the will of Allah.
And as soon as you do right, try to do right.
You know what I'm saying? But the minute you just look at a bunch of people that just go to work every day, never sold a drug, don't even know how to operate a gun, don't know anything other than God or righteousness, they can walk outside and get killed by a stray bullet or get hit by a car or get robbed or get stabbed or get raped. And me personally, I said to myself a long time ago, for the times when I overlook being spared by the Most High, I'm going to take that as wisdom now because I don't have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you? The reason why I personally didn't go to Compa's funeral because I have certain things going on. I could have got on a plane. I could have got on a flight and all that nonsense. I had people that told me, yo, I don't want you there. And I know how you is. And see, I don't worry about that. I worry about what my God tell me to do. My God told me not to go there because it was going to be an energy there that I didn't want to see at my man's shit. It's gonna keep it funky with y'all.
Yeah.
Some people might not understand it.
I do.
Some people just don't understand what I'm saying. Some will. And I didn't want egos to create an atmosphere or a situation that I would be in the middle of something that I had nothing to fucking do with.
Yeah.
See, I love my son more than anything else but God. And I got to live for him, and I got to make certain decisions for him. People fail to realize that. I have to, even though when I be flipping the fuck out, that's why when I be trying to get the people, God won't let me get to them yet. God will not let me get to him yet. Y'all wanted to beat a nigga so bad, and I went to my aunt's house, and remember when I popped my ankle? Remember when I tell y'all I popped my ankle? That time when I went to my aunt's house? I stepped out the car. The minute I stepped my car, I popped my ankle. I popped my ankle because when I stepped out the car, I went to step over the ditch, and my ankle twisted in the ditch, but I saw somebody I ain't like.
Yeah, kept you from even thinking about moving.
No, what it was is when I saw the person that I don't like, it made me move faster instead of calmly like I move. You dig? I don't do that. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, I take my time with anything I do.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm getting out of my lane. See, a lot of people don't know. You got to stay in your lane. Hit that like button for that if you understand what I'm saying. You have to stay in your lane. My grandfather told me this. You can learn a lot about a person by the way they drive. And I said, why you say that? He said, because number one, if it say go 60 miles an hour, that means go 60, 63 miles an hour, maybe 65. If you start doing anything over 65, like 75, 85, 95, 100, now
reckless.
You're going against the odds.
Yeah, reckless.
You have no self-control for you or nobody else in the car or nobody else driving that particular day outside. That shit stuck with me.
That's true.
Word up.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I've never had a need for speed. I don't like that playing behind the wheels.
I had 2 bad accidents, so I've never been, when I was younger, I used to love speed, but no, after being in 2 bad accidents, nah. I just told you, David, you just came in. I didn't go because I was told to myself, even though I have certain things going on that would have made me do it, I just decided not to go because of the atmosphere that was going to be at his funeral. And everything I said turned out to be truth.
And that's not even what you're there for, man. I can't stand, man.
And me, tell you the truth, I've been to 6 funerals, y'all, in 2 months. 4 of them overdoses. Facts.
Damn.
6 funerals in 2 months.
Damn.
One of my cousins, thank God, but unfortunately she passed away. She used to have bad seizures, and she had a seizure and fell and hit her head. Early in the morning, getting up about to cook and get them kids ready to go to school.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then one of my cousins, she got killed in a car accident. Somebody ran a stop sign. And she was pregnant.
Ah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Rest in peace to my cousin Sheena. That's a fact.
Rest in peace, man. Dang.
I got so much death that I'm trying to get away from. I told people this a long time ago. When I buried my beloved mother, I vowed never to go to a funeral again. I said I would never go to a funeral and watch anybody or look at anybody in the casket. Unfortunately, I've been to about maybe 15, 20 funerals since my mother passed. I just for some reason, the funerals I went to, believe it or not, y'all, I didn't go to the funerals because of me. I went to the funerals because of family members that needed me there. If that makes sense, I don't know if people understand that shit, but it's the honest to God truth.
Totally.
It's just the truth. Like niggas calling me on some, yo, cuz I know you're going to the funeral. I know you don't really fuck with niggas like that, but I need you, and I'm there. It ain't nothing to talk about. I remember one time I went to a funeral. Rest in peace to my cousin KT. His name was Anthony. My cousin Kevin, his brother from Greensboro, he came down here and he was like, yo, cuz, I know you don't really get along with mommy and them like that, but he said, if you don't go to the funeral, I'm not going. He told me this shit 20 minutes before the funeral, yeah?
Oh, man.
He said, yo, I'm not going in there without you. I'm like, yo, I ain't going to the funeral. He was like, well, we ain't going to the funeral. So what I do, I wound up driving him to the funeral home, thinking that he gonna get out the car and I'm gonna pull off. So when I pulled in front of the funeral home, he like this, what you doing? I said, yo, get out, I'm about to park the car. He was like, I ain't getting out the car until you get out the car.
Yeah.
Exactly what he told me. And then it went so crazy. By the time we get inside the funeral, by the time we get to the funeral steps, it's like my cousin just break down. Then we get inside and certain people, because my cousin was a little healthier, then they looked at me and was like, yo, we need you to be a pallbearer. I'm like, oh.
Forced.
It's not that I don't love my cousin. I just didn't want to see him like that. And my cousin, unfortunately, he was killed, shot in his head over a stimulus check.
Yeah, that's man.
See, people fail to realize, and this is just honest to God, my truth and my opinion. Some people don't understand it. I've been through some unfortunate things and I've seen some horrific things in my life. Me personally, I don't want to go to a funeral of a headshot.
Exactly.
It's just a fact. Unless the casket is going to be closed and I'm going to see a beautiful picture of whomever got killed. I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to leave that impression on my mind. I watch my man videos more than people would ever even imagine. So I see my man bugging and joking and laughing on TV. I'm sitting here laughing, talking to him at the TV, telling him to go get his hair cut like he's still alive. So I got my moments. I go through my shit. So I don't be really caring about what nobody talking about, man.
Yeah, but it ain't for them, you know?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Not for them. And that's the part people don't realize.
That nigga done taught me some shit.
Yeah. That's the part people don't realize. And for the, you have to, your walk have to be to their approval when it don't.
Ron said, I feel like My pops did that to me about one of my aunts because he know I don't like I don't really. I'm dead. I'm so sincere about this, y'all. I don't like remembering. That's not an impression. I shouldn't have went to the day of my mother's funeral. I decided to go to my mother's funeral. Like, I didn't want to see my mother like that. I buried my mother in a peach linen suit with pearls and all that. I didn't want to look at my mother like that. I looked at her, I went to the funeral and everything, but I did not go when they put that dirt on my mom's casket. I ain't do that. I ain't sit there like, you know how people be sitting there in the front. Yeah. I ain't do none of that goofy shit.
Yeah, that's man.
Because my aunt was like, where you going? I said, I'm going to the house. She was like, no, they about to bury your mother. I said, that ain't my mom's. My mom's is probably walking or standing right here next to me right now. That's just her physical. That was just her shell.
Making sure I'm held up.
That was her rental. You dig what I'm saying? That was just the rental God gave her while she was here. My mom's is probably right here next to me and you right now. I'm not going there to watch nobody throw no motherfucking dirt on my mom's casket. That shit don't even make no fucking sense to me. Respectfully.
Yeah. Everybody look at stuff different, man. You got, I look at shit for what it is, man.
See, I believe in the old ancestral burials. This is my thing. I believe in finding a big open sea of water and setting the body on fire and pushing it out to sea.
Pushing it out.
You know what I'm saying? People just don't practice that, but that's just something that I believe in personally. You know what I'm saying? Because me, it's in my will. Like, if something was to ever happen to me, I'm going to get it cremated. You dig what I'm saying? I don't want nobody going through no fucking funeral arrangements. And first of all, through my insurance and all that, I'm paying for my own shit. So all the motherfucker got to do is just go pick out the urn and everything and make sure I'm right. You dig what I'm saying?
Me and my wife just, because it's like, man, we get old. You have to have these conversations and everything, man. We just put it together. Like I don't like bugs and shit. I don't want to be in no fucking ground. Don't put me in no motherfucking ground.
Word up. And I said, after they cremate me, I want one of my family members or one of my friends or a group of my family members and friends to take my ashes straight to Jamaica and drop me off in the water.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
If I'm around, bro, I'm going in with you.
Word up. I don't want none of that other shit, that hooping and hollering, all that other. First of all, I don't want nobody going, none of that shit. None of that shit. I don't want nobody on YouTube talking, I missed. I don't want to. First of all, God forbid if something was to ever happen to me, I'm saying that shit right now. To me, I would take that shit as disrespect.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody talking about they me and putting up pictures talking about big day. Oh, no. That shit is goofy. Be who you are.
Man, for real. I will, man, put off the energy that I put off. I'm not a miserable, you know what I mean? I'm not in no hole and head down, man. Lift y'all head up, man.
That's a fact. Live how I live,
ain't nothing sad about this.
Live how I live. Don't do none of that goofy shit. Don't even go through that depressive state. Live how I live. That's all.
I tell my wife, man, do not, man. Don't go no big ceremony and don't put me in no fucking ground, man. I don't like bugs. I don't like no shit crawling on me, man. I hunt your ass. You put me in the ground. Straight up.
Well, y'all know we done had a great one again. You know I'm going live again tomorrow. I might go live in the morning and do some early things early, see how many people get up early in the morning. But, I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Great conversation as usual.
Always,
Great conversation as usual, man.
I look forward to these ones, man. You my man.
Rest in peace to everybody that's gone. Shout out for the Dread El Compa for everybody on this Memorial Day. Matter of fact, it's not even Memorial Day, but for the belated Memorial Day. Y'all already know how I feel about y'all. Salute. Peace.
All love. Peace out.
Another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me? wisdom, understanding. Man, woman, and children. Sun, moon, and stars. Everything that exists has to coexist within. Like I said, another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me?